Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Hello. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm talking to the star of the comedy horror movie that is so fun, Black Friday, Ivana Baquero. This movie comes out in theaters next Friday, on demand as well as in theaters. That is Friday, November 19th. Hello, hello. I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning if you're on the West Coast. Wherever you are, good evening. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing well. Talking to the lovely Ivana Baquero today. She stars in a really fun comedy horror movie called Black Friday, which comes out next Friday. Lots of Fridays. November 19th. You can see it in theaters and on demand. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Talking about Black Friday today with Ivana Baquero. Oh, she's here. Yay, let's get her. Okay. Let's see. Invite. Hello.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm great. This is my first Instagram live ever.
Oh my gosh, is it really? Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job so far. That was like easy to get on. We're doing so good.
I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God. But it was all good.
All good. I love that plant behind you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I had to actually go into this different space because my neighbors started construction today. Like,
Oh gosh.
So this looks really nice, but this isn't even my place. So thank you.
I hope the construction isn't starting like super early in the morning like most of them do.
It was fine. I'm in Spain too, so it was all good.
So what time is it there for you?
It's 6 p.m.
Oh my goodness. Well, good evening.
Are you East Coast?
I'm West Coast.
Okay, awesome.
Oh my gosh. Well, first off, congrats on this really fun movie, Black Friday, that comes out not this Friday, but the next Friday. And it is so fun. So I'm so excited to chat with you about it. But before we get started on that, I would just love to know what movies or TV shows have impacted and influenced you, both personally and professionally.
I've watched, honestly, so many shows, particularly during COVID.
Yeah.
I love obviously cinema, film. I love shows, but I have to say that during COVID, there's been this like amazing influx of really, really good material that's been put out there, shows, and really producing awesome things. And also for me personally, such international shows being seen in the US.
Yes.
European shows, South American, Spanish, there's been very, very big ones. And I have to say that I guess one of the latest ones that I've really enjoyed was Mayor of Easttown.
Oh yeah.
Kate Winslet was really amazing. And wow, they always ask me this question and then I never know what to say.
No, I think that's, well, first of all, like Mayor of Easttown. So I like my parents grew up like in that area of Pennsylvania, and for, you know, it's such a specific accent, and my whole life my friends have been like, what is that, what is your like parents accent, like what is that? And now everyone's like, oh, we get it now.
Well, 100%, and props to her, by the way, because she's British, so she pulled that off so well. I was frankly impressed. I mean, obviously, Kate is Kate, but
Oh,
she,
she's such a legend. She is truly such a legend. Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh. Were there like what you know, who were some of the actors that you looked up to as a kid that really sort of paved the way and trailblazed, you know, or trailblazers for you?
For me, I guess, I mean, I guess coming from a Spanish person is quite the typical answer, but truly Penelope Cruz paved
Yeah.
the way for a lot of Spanish actresses. So she was definitely for me one to watch always. And then I've always really admired Natalie Portman,
Mm.
Foster, actors that, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio obviously has always sort of been up there for me, but just actors that started young and
Yeah.
that I could kind of compare myself to, in the sense that I wanted to achieve sort of what they had achieved.
Yeah.
And those were people that I really looked up to because they transitioned beautifully into adulthood as actors,
Yes.
hard as a child actor. And I feel like no one really speaks about this enough, but it's quite hard to transition into an adult actor because it's
Yeah.
a completely different thing. And you see
Yeah.
kind of like not quite, you know, just, I guess, not quite making it to
Yeah.
audition for many reasons. It's a very treacherous industry at times, especially for child actors. But I definitely tried to really look up to people that had successfully and in a healthy way done that.
Yeah. Did you see, you know, in your opinion, is there like a common thread that kind of for people that have done it successfully, like is it the, you know, the work that they choose, the roles, or the support system around them, or what do you find, you know, makes that transition kind of the most seamless and kind of healthiest?
You said it. To me, I think a lot has to do with the support system. And what happens a lot is that actors don't actually want to be actors when they're young. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it's the
Yeah.
parents. And so for them, it doesn't really make sense to really pursue it. It's not an easy craft. I mean, you need a lot of patience. You need a lot of passion because there's a ton of rejection, frustration, waiting, not
Mhm.
achieving, disappointment.
Mhm.
And so if you don't really carry that and you don't have that in you, it's impossible to make the transition. But also the support system where you have healthy people around you that encourage you to make the right decisions. And I've always had my parents in my case, and they've always made me prioritize school. So I wanted to act, but they kept me grounded, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. I had the best of both worlds. I was able to really have a regular childhood and also do what I wanted and do what I loved, which was acting.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I think anything is possible with, you know, with support, right? I think as long as we have support in our lives, we really can achieve anything. And that's beautiful. And I'm sure that so many now, you know, young actors look up to you in your career as kind of a guide to how to do it successfully and, you know, in a healthy way.
Yeah, I mean, you say that now, young actors. I'm a young actor still. It's so funny because
Young like little child actor, I should say.
I know what's and was like I think this year marked the 15th anniversary. And I'm like, wow. And before that, I had already been acting for like 4 years. So I've been in the industry for 20 years. It makes me feel super old.
No, I mean, like, hey, it's always like, you know, it's no.
No,
Oh my
I
God, that's so funny. No, but it's true. It's like, I think that Yeah, no, we are young, we are youthful, but I think that yeah, I think that child actors out there need those sort of I think that I don't know if it's, you know, easier or harder for a child actor now with social media and all of the pressures, but I do think that the same has remained true where it's, you know, just as important to have that healthy support system. And so, you know, because there's just we're constantly growing as people, right? Like constantly. We're still growing. Like I don't think it ever ends, right? And it, like you said, it is such a tough industry to sort of navigate at any age.
Hmm.
And I don't think that ever changes, but it's just must be very lovely that you have these, you know, these kids that can look to you to see what is possible. Because if we see it, then we can believe it.
For sure. 100%. I agree.
Okay, well, let's chat about Black Friday. This film was so fun. It was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, this feels truly how Black Friday in my mind actually is. Even though it's a horror comedy and it's like, you know, a gross exaggeration, it feels like it is very accurate because I stay the hell away from Black Friday every year because it terrifies me.
That's
But you
funny.
play Marnie.
I was gonna say that I personally hadn't lived one because in Spain it's becoming a thing now, but it wasn't when I was growing up. So I actually drew a lot from the writer of Black Friday, Andy, because he's worked in retail and I
Oh,
practically
really?
he did. So obviously everything he writes is based on his experience, and I think that's why it's so accurate. And so I almost like shadowed him. I didn't even have to shadow like a real retail person because he was there to help us through the entire process. And hearing the stories and the experiences, I was like, wow, it's crazy. It's
It
crazy.
is really crazy. And I think that it's like in a way, even though this movie is, you know, it's a horror comedy, it's fun, it's like, you know, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's truly making a commentary on the fact that Americans specifically, there's these like I don't know what you call them, like retail holiday, like, you know, it's like Black Friday is not really a holiday, but these sort of moments where we get so consumed by you know, I don't know. It's just like it's like people do truly turn into monsters. And it's such a good lesson to watch this movie to maybe think like, all right, I don't need to take it so seriously when I, you know, I it's just like it's like through to life, which is scary. Ooh, did I lose you?
I think it glitched for a sec there.
I think it did. I think we lost connection for a second. But anyways, let's jump into you play Marnie. Can you describe Marnie for us?
Yes. So Marnie she's such a fun character in a very subtle way. I've never quite I don't think I've ever done a comedy. I mean, and this again, this is not a full on comedy. It's a genre film. It's to say it very simply, some sort of a zombie apocalypse survival movie, but the background and what happens around it lends to the comedy of it, and
Yeah.
it's not forced yet it's hilarious, you know, in some instances. And so it was a really fun balance for me to play because Casey specifically instructed me to just be grounded. There were other characters that have amazing comedy in them, like Stephen Pegg and Bruce, obviously, and Ryan sort of carried the comedy, and actors like Devon and I were told to keep it more grounded. So there
Yeah.
was a beautiful mix of that drama comedy that I really I would say that Marnie is this she's she's a really caring strong female, and it's always a pleasure to really need to play very multidimensional females,
Yeah.
but at the same time she's got moments of freakouts, and she also has moments of nurturing and of sort of carrying this dysfunctional family and making it work out. So she's got a little bit of everything, and actually spoken to a few people that have watched the movie, and they're like, within all the craziness, we can all sort of find ourselves a little bit in each of the characters, including Marnie. That's really cool about the movie. It's absolutely crazy, and what happens, I don't want to spoil much, but within that, it's real. It's real people who's stereotypical, which I appreciate as an actor. So to be able to play Marnie for me.
Exactly. And I think it's also shows Marnie truly is like a real life hero in this film. I think that she doesn't hesitate to step up to the plate. She kind of she has these very brave her instincts are spot on. I think it's really cool. It's always really cool to see in sort of in the horror world, a woman, defending herself, not, hiding behind a man to protect, or, having a man protect her. She's never the damsel in distress. She's like the first to like kick some, I'm going to call them zombie, but I know they're not quite zombies. They're something entirely on their own, but she doesn't hesitate to just freaking whack. I remember like she's like the first, I feel like she's the first to like hit one of these things. She doesn't hesitate, and I think that's really, like, at the end of the day, like you said, it's a comedy, it's fun, it's silly, but we're still seeing a strong, complex female being represented on screen, and that's important.
100%.
And very cool.
And just on that note, when I was actually reading the script, admittedly, I cheered every time that she did something like that, because sometimes I read a lot of scripts and sometimes it's not expected. Like you expect those moments to, I guess, be the man that performs the action or the heroic move. And in this case, she did all these cool things that I was like, yes, this is what I want to see. This is what I would go watch, because it gives it so much more complexity, and it makes you, because everyone in this movie has their moment,
Yes.
So really, it really makes you appreciate the dynamic, and it made me really want to be part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love too, this is kudos to the writing, where it's never pointed out like, oh, yeah, like you go girl, or like, oh, you're so strong. Like, it's just that she is, it's never based on her gender. Like, her gender is never pointed to. She's just a brave, she's just like she's a human. She's a human, and she's protecting herself. And it seems like she's just a very independent person, I think. And yeah, it's really cool to see. Especially like I said, in the genre, in both of these genres, where normally that doesn't necessarily happen. But yeah, and what's your favorite characteristic of Marnie? Like, what do you admire most about her?
Oh my God, her patience. I don't want to spoil much, but the things she has to deal with, and
yeah. It's like, even before the craziness ensues and these zombie creatures, take over, she is patient. Like, you can tell this woman is just like bless her, like the patience she must have just to get through the day at this job on a normal, without it being Black Friday.
100%. I mean, I think I would have, could have resisted that long. And even obviously when hell breaks loose, I feel like gone on my own pretty early on, because she has, I guess, less chances of survival by sticking and helping certain people pull through, but she chose back and to help out. So that's really admirable, but it's crazy because I had to find ways to justify why she was being so caring and patient. And I remember when I need to, as an actress, need to understand why I do the things I do. And I would do biography and background about her, and I kept calling Casey, the director. I was like, am I on the right track? Like, is this good? And he's like, you do you. Like, you have fun. You have the liberty, which I appreciated, to sort of, you know, find your own Marnie. And
trust your instincts. Yeah.
so I was able to trace like her backstory, and that really made me understand why she did the things she did.
I was gonna say, you do your performance is beautiful in this, because I totally got that. As when I watched this, I could see behind her eyes where I was just so curious. It's almost like I wanted a Marnie prequel. I wanted to know, like, what, like, you know, because she seems very educated. She has a strong moral compass. We see that before the madness happens, you know, and she's like, no, you can't get your bonus until the end of the day, kind of thing. And she's a hard worker, but at the same time, she's got her flaws, and she's, you know, she's just trying to make it through. And like I said, you bring a lot of humanity to this film, and that's your beautiful performance, I think. And the fact that you found Marnie on your own and kind of developed this character. And yeah, I was just so curious. Like, I would love to like have a whole conversation about Marnie's backstory, because I'm equally as curious about that. But well, I don't want to keep you too long, but my last question is, you know, because at Cherry Picks, we're all about, at the end of the day, uplifting and supporting each other as women. So I would love to know, you know, who's a woman or women in front or behind the camera that you just want to put on everyone's radar right now watching?
Wow, that's a really, really good question.
This is tough.
There's a Kiwi New Zealand musician called Robinson.
Okay.
And she's amazing. I think she's currently in the US soon. She is this amazing artist, and I think she's going to be a really, really big music star. And so I would encourage people to listen to her for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. See, that's why I love asking that question, because we can, you know, together discover maybe these incredible artists that we, you know, didn't know before, now support them. And very cool. I'll have to check her out. And I hope that everyone watching does as well. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been lovely. Black Friday comes out in theaters and on demand November 19th. And you know, maybe it'll help folks think a little differently next time they go shopping the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. And it's great time. They should definitely watch it before the madness hits so that they're prepped.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you so much, and just have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you everyone who listened. Appreciate it.
Bye.